Hello everyone! Hopefully I can record for a little while today, without the neighbor interrupting with his drilling. Anyways, last time we left off needing to build a biolab in order to create some cures. And off camera I constructed the superheating kiln. So now we are able to create the reinforced materials as well as the hardened glass. And we can actually construct the biology lab. This will have to get its own spot eventually, but for now it's just gonna live over there. So let's see, what can we do? Craft herbicidal charge and clear... No, that's something else. Right, we have to insert the mycelia in the grow bed. In order to do that, we need to get some life shrooms as well as the hive mycelia, which we could find out around the area if you destroy the corrupted trees. The life shroom should also be somewhere in the Lost World. It's not a whole lot. That's mainly because I did not know we needed that. Let's see, we put that in there. And this will take 8 minutes in order to create biomass, or whatever this is, some sort of biomass looking thing. And with that we have to craft a inhibitor. So we need 3 of them in total, so that's going to be fun. We have everything else except for the empty inhibitors, and we can only create 1 because Tangerite bars is the problem. Well, to be honest, more stuff is going to become the problem. We do have some Tangerite, so that's no big deal. Oh, it's already creating 2 at a time. Okay, well, never mind then. That's actually even better. Right, but we are going to need some more life shrooms. So let's head back to Facility Epsilon. Go outside and find a few. I think those were the blue glowy ones, right? Yes. Okay, sweet. Let's see, we're going to need 4 in total, seeing as we need 2 more of the mycelia. So then we can craft 2 more. Exactly 2 more. Seems like we ran out of the hive stuff as well. So let's see, hopefully we can plant more. Of course we can't. Well, technically it also doesn't state that we only get 1, so let's hope we get more. I guess in the meantime, seeing as we have 1 herbicide charge, we can go over to Mew, as we only needed the herbicide charge to get in there. Then we should head back periodically to the base to check up on the roots, or on the... whatever the heck the thing is actually gonna be. The plant. That way we're not really sitting here idle, as the deadline is kind of closing in. Deadline being the Easter event. But we need to get pretty far into the game for that. Besides, I imagine that the Mew facility also is going to have something we have to deal with, seeing as pretty much all the other ones had that. And there is some weird red glowy stuff around, so it's definitely not going to be super easy. Okay, so if we throw it over here, it should get rid of that. That way we can just waltz in here. And then where's the facility? Over here? I don't really see any way in. Oh, there it is. There's a way. Hey. There's also just a normal door that needs a servo motor.
Why would the security guy need herbicide?
To use in a power plant?
After going... fishing?
That does sound pretty weird.
Your air supply is running out.
Alright, let's get inside. Good thing there's oxygen in here. We got a small solar panel here. Warning, no powered connection to the Omicron.
Laser time.
Maeve, this foliage seems strange. It's not going to be susceptible to my laser.
Upgrades won't help?
More sparkles? No one will notice unless they get some too.
Seems like a perfect opportunity to test the herbicide we found.
Sparkly.
Alright, we need to bypass mole as well. Right, we're going to need more herbicide, so that immediately stops our adventure here, which is kind of unfortunate. But let's have a little look around, maybe we find some more herbicide. There's another one here. We're going to need a couple of these charges, I think. If that is the only major issue that this area has, ooh, skin, then I think I can work with that. We would need to make some herbicide charges, but I mean, that shouldn't be too difficult. Let's go check out this area here as well. Seems like there's quite a few jaspide around. There is a recipe. The hub habitat. Oh look, it's for one of the drills. This one will get us jaspide. That could actually be pretty good. But we need a jaspide focusing lens. But I mean, don't mind if I do. Those things are worth, well, more than gold actually. I see another structure over here with a small container. There is a Jenkins dwarf, a work pad, and another one of these cargo drone things. I'm looking at this whole entire structure, We really didn't need to create that shortcut. So we kind of just wasted that charge. So I guess let's head back to base. I mean, it's not like we can do much here anyway. Go have a nice little dwarf up here. Collection's getting pretty big. Alright, how's the plant doing? Harvest? Oh, nice. We get 3 of them. Let's plant a new one. Then let's see. Can we make the injector? Yes. Alright, these injections only last a little while, but it seems like we get 2.
On the antigen now. Green across the board. Should be safe.
Can't believe I spent so much time growing things I can't eat. Hang on, should be.
Well, science isn't an exact science, you know?
Congrats. You've managed to say something that makes even less sense than Stanley.
You'll be fine. Back to Theta we go. Time to inhale some spores and not choke to death. Oh,
Hell yeah.
And you'll probably want to stock up on this stuff. Theta is large, and this antigen will only last a limited time. Don't want to run out while we're exploring.
Good idea. And I need to bring one of those little bypass moles for the bunker too.
Right, we do need a couple more bypass moles. Actually, good thing she says that. I also looked into what we need for the charges while we were talking. We need the glowy stuff that is hanging around a Mew. So before we go back, we should gather up some of those as well. I really hope that 2 of them is going to be enough. We are growing more stuff so we can make more injectors. So if really need be, we can get more. Besides, Roland said Theta is large, but it shouldn't be that large, right? Alright, in we go. Alright, let's see. Which of the areas was infected? I think over... No, not over here, because we cannot get there. The bunker. We can also not get in there. Right. Where do we have to go again? Bio-research, I think it was. Yeah. It's over here. Alright, as in, take that. We have 15 minutes. Wow. Roland.
Breathing is so much better when you're not coughing up blood. I could wander around in here for hours now.
Actually, no, you can't. That antigen has a narrow window of efficacy. It won't last long. Just a few minutes.
Just out of idle curiosity, no real reason for asking, but hypothetically speaking, what would happen if someone used lots of them in a row?
Nothing. It's metabolized away harmlessly. Your pee will turn blue, though. Just FYI.
Small price to pay for getting through this nasty stuff and finding the keycard in here.
These are gene sequencing tanks, adapted for hydroponic planting. Hospital-grade isolation, too.
That's a lot of effort to extract DNA from alien ferns.
Can't say I blame them with all these spores about.
But did the spores come after they planted these or before? How much did they know? Wow, they really went digging around in that little guy. More gene sequencing probes too.
Do you find it odd we haven't seen any fauna? Just plants.
Where are all the creepy crawlies?
Exactly.
Either they're lurking, which is terrifying and I'm not thinking about that anymore, or there are none.
Or there used to be fauna here, but they left for some reason.
What did Stanley say? Something big and bright and loud.
I made the hugs as kind as I could. Shelters with strong arms for everyone. So there would be a return. Like they said there should be.
What do you mean? What actually happened here, Stanley?
Some said it was unkind, though, that I hugged so long. But I had to make them return. They said I had to.
These bunkers, they're your hugs, your strong arms? You made them.
As they went, they said it was kindness. That I hugged so tight, so close.
Alright. You think Stanley is like just a robot or something?
What were these people doing here? Why is there so much biotech equipment alongside industrial mining and power generation?
It was all secondary and tertiary to the most critical return on investment.
What was the point of it all, then?
They discovered new things, so they pushed to be primary. And pushed, and pushed.
You mean the research that Dr. Sinclair was doing? The weird fungus they found?
Like your Kappa module, they kept pushing, even when it was time for hugs and the strongest strong arms. Others were lost, or pulled to others.
They didn't get to shelter in time. Or couldn't.
Wait, Stanley, you found something about the module.
There are records, stored where they said investments are stored. But they are hard to read. Numbers where words were.
Encrypted. I can take a look.
No. I will try to read them if you promise no hugs still.
We promise. Please, let us know what you find.
Alright, that might take a little while. In the meantime, go look at these. Yes, this is what we need, the smaller red mushrooms. We needed some herbicide in that area as well to progress farther.
My granddad, he used to tell us stories about this claim. Said something precious was here. Why didn't he tell us everyone was dead?
Us? How many more of you are there?
Me and Roland. He's more like family than anyone else I've had in my life. Roland, that is, not Grandad.
You know what they say? The family that salvages secret underground facilities together.
Your granddad was not family?
He was, distant. He used to work in some big research lab until he left, or was fired. He would never talk about what he did, just how important it was. He said it should have made a difference. But sometimes he'd let something slip when he was tired. None of it made sense, but he always looked at me afterwards like he'd said something terrible.
He loved you. I know you know that.
I do. I just can't figure out why he wanted us to be here. Why the stories and clues? What the hell is this stupid Kappa module anyway?
Records are... I can try to find out. I still have access to some records.
Another modulation. Are you doing that, Stanley?
Ugh, gone again. Oh, I guess we keep tracking down those keycards until we hear back from him.
Congratulations, Maeve. You're practically a bioterrorist now.
Got there in the end. Shame there was no defoliant creation for beginners course available back at the Arc Academy.
Alright, well, apparently the dialogue also keeps going through loading zones.
They seemed more interested in teaching children profit maximization.
I think you mean profit maximization of children.
Sadly true. Let's go take that anger out on some innocent plants.
Alright, let's rush back real quick. We're not fully done at Theta here, even though we do have the keycard. Alright, open sesame.
These look to be stored samples. Or experiment results.
I can't tell if this one is plant or a fungus.
One of them looks like a cross between that bug and those ferns we saw.
Is that sac pulsating? I'm really not okay with pulsating sacs.
We haven't encountered any of these growing outside. They must have sent sampling expeditions.
I don't think these grow anywhere. I think they created them.
The gene probes.
And sequencing. Yeah.
Combining multiple alien species seems inadvisable.
I tried to tell them, but they told me to focus on returns.
No scientists, but what about farmers in the family?
Maybe back on Terra, when it had soil instead of just dust, and the rain didn't kill everything it touched.
Well, these plans mean that we can grow as much as you like.
I'm gonna eat so much salad.
Alright, sweet. It seems like we're completely done here. Seeing as we have a couple of moles, as well as herbicide charges, I say we go back to Mew next. Alright, let's add one of the bypass moles in here. I have no idea what it means. Alright, let's open Mew up. What is hiding in here? Well, we need more of this stuff.
Here's the bunker. That's some serious plant growth.
It knew the investment was bad, so tried to hug too. But too late.
The plants were hugging people? They killed everyone so you don't want to hug?
Plants don't know they're supposed to be kind. When you don't know, it's okay not to feel bad.
Okay, time for some pruning. Then we can get it open.
Alright, well, we have the bunker open at least. There is probably more stuff back there.
Oh man, I really hate this.
Tracking strings say Chief Engineer Chapman is in here.
She was kind even when she knew I couldn't be kind to all of them.
I hate that I'm getting used to this too.
Counting them hurt, so I stopped. Why did they teach it to hurt?
That's all the keycards we need to get into the dam, right, Roland?
The dam has failed and flooded. It is inaccessible now.
I don't think that's happened.
We're draining that lake and getting into Kappa, Stanley. Next up, undersea dam.
Oh yeah. I would explore farther here to get the advanced power
Why did you stay
gen.
here, Stanley? Why not find a way back up, back home?
Providing a return is the only reason I am. But there was no return. So they tore it all out.
Who is they?
Were you hired to guard people? Or build something for them?
Both and more. But I failed. Even before I failed. So they put me to work because it was kinder than torn paper.
You've obviously gone through a lot, but you're not making any sense.
Investments must return, they all said. I did not. So I was told to tear myself out and to stay, so I will stay and not try to be kind again.
He's gone again. For a second, the carrier wave hit my limiter. It's definitely connected to him somehow.
Alright, let's first head to the dam, because as I was saying, we don't have any of these herbicide charges left. So we cannot get those advanced power generation stuff. So to Kappa we go. Alright, we're back at the dam controls. Let's go down. And let's start opening some of these doors. With all the keycards we have been finding. Control room.
Finally, we're in. Wow, that's a lot of controls.
None of them work.
Really? Input diagnostics for a couple of these consoles are positive.
Like it or not, Stanley, we're going to Kappa.
I strongly advise returning instead.
A reverse
These
protocol.
controls are locked behind an access code. Metadata mentions a capacitor and something called the tear paper protocol.
Have you tried 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, because I don't want to trigger the null-framed host pliant malware embedded in the authorization subsystem.
Code Minion says bad password, bad. Got it.
We'll just need to keep an eye out for the access code, which, by the way, is a wee bit more complex than 4 consecutive integers.
Locate access codes from the strange console in the undersea dam.
Drainage sequence activated.
I guess we must have found it
Pressure
somewhere.
increasing within the dam.
I can see the water level dropping. Fast, too. Wonder where it drains.
The water is acid. Traces remain. Total dissolution of organic matter is certain.
Lift controls for the Kappa facility have come online.
Alright, let's head down to the definitely not acid and finally get some answers.
Well, apparently this is still here. Locate an access code from the strange console in the undersea dam. This is the undersea dam. Maybe Kappa itself is considered the undersea dam too? I don't know. I'll look at it later either way. If it is a side objective, there's no real rush at the moment. But it seems like we have drained quite a bit around here, so that's good.
Maeve, you need a good sleep.
Nah, I think we're fine, Roland. Let's go to the lab level. Anything around on the outside, I wonder? That seemed to be stuff over in that direction. It looks like a skin, so we'll take that. And that's all around? Yes, that's everything that's outside. Let's head inside Facility Kappa. We got quite some oxygen goodies in this locker here, which is kind of suspicious.
AI core temperature increasing. Core
What is
ejection
that?
required.
Some kind of a machine? A A medical stasis unit?
Maeve, I am detecting extremely dense network traffic here.
I was torn out of so much, but not here. Your Kappa module is here too.
It's not a treatment bay. It's an AI interface housing.
But you? An AI?
I did not mean to deceive. I did not want to be unkind.
Are you the Kappa module?
No. It is data. Records, results, telemetry, and coordinates and assays. And it is protected. In me. If you promise I never have to hug again, I will return with you.
We promise. No hugs. But if we can get open that module, I will definitely hug you.
Systems in failover sync. Entering transit mode. Locks disengaging. Be more kind than I was.
Damn poor Stanley, man. Eject the AI core. And let's take Stanley with us. Now we need to create a containment facility at our own base.
Maeve, are you okay? I can sense your tension.
Why did I give you access to my suit's diagnostics again?
You asked me to get rid of the arc puke green on my HUD. Seriously though, are you okay?
Honestly, I don't know. I was so sure we were close to striking it rich, being able to build a real future for ourselves.
And you blame your granddad?
Does that make me a terrible person? He wasn't affectionate, but he did his best for us.
It makes you human. I used to hate that he never let me defrag my own memory, but without him, I'd be a mess.
I feel like there's more human in you than you realize, Roland.
You take that back.
Once we figure out what data is in the Kappa module, we'll be back on track. Just need to find Stanley a new home.
How much power do you think this is gonna take, though? But then again, Roland has an AI as well, and he doesn't seem to take much power, or any power, really. Something tells me this isn't.
I pulled blueprints for that AI containment facility off the Kappa mainframe. It's going to use a hell of a lot of power,
Damn.
but should keep Stanley's core sufficiently cooled to reactivate him.
Okay, let's get it built and finally get to that Kappa module.
Jesus Christ. Which is that? 3, 6. It requires 10 power. Our current best one only gives 6. Actually, never mind. Oh, we actually almost have all. Actually, we do have all of it. Just take these out. We construct a giant solar panel, which I guess we cannot place somewhere over there, which is kind of sad. There we go. We can have it overlook the crater. Now, what do we need? A lot of stuff. But before we do that, I'm going to create some herbicide. Now let's head back to Mew as well as the underground dam, or undersea dam. I guess it's technically also underground. Alright, we're back at Mew. Let's see, I'm guessing there is some interesting stuff over here. That leads to an exit, so I don't really care for going over there. This is technically also the only way we can go.
I'm detecting a massive power signature behind that door.
Which door? The one with warning, high energy capacitor on it. That door.
Give a human a certificate in advanced industrial engineering, and suddenly they're a smart arse.
You love it. Door's locked down though. Looks like a remote override.
I guess we keep an eye out for the control panel.
Yeah, of course it would be on lockdown. Actually, we had that one bypass mole one, right? This one? It just unlocks the comms. Right. No, this one was just talking about how the connection to Omnicron was failing. Honestly, I have no idea where else it would be. For now, let's take another look at the undersea dam. I'm guessing we are going to need to harden storage drive in order to actually get it, because that's the only thing I can see that we can interact with. Meaning we cannot do anything here yet. Similarly, there was something like this on Mew, so maybe we just really need that in order to advance with that. But alright, well, on the way back, I'm going to be leaving it off over here. In the next episode, we will be creating the AI core facility for housing. So, I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone.